Hi everyone. If you don't know or you don't remember my name, I'm Maria. And as I said before in the previous video, I'm going to talk this week about negative emotions. Well, what can I say? I started talking about them before in the previous video, and the common perception of negative emotions as something to be avoided, ignored. Um, there is such a term as toxic positivity. It's when you feel sad or you feel angry or you're afraid of something, people will tell you, oh, you just smile, just keep smiling. Oh, fine, focus on the positive. Forget, like, there's no way to feel this way. Uh, like, some people have it worse. And you're like, really? Like, really? So some people really try to smile and forget about all this. But then when you bottle it up, you never know when it's going to explode, which moment and how it's going to manifest. So last time I compared negative emotions to garbage. Because garbage as it is, it's not always bad. There are some things that can be picked and recycled, reused, right? So negative emotions are like garbage. So please treat it like garbage. You take it, you sort it, you choose the things that you can really use, things that are useful, things that you can learn from. You take them, recycle, and transform them into your power. Whereas the things that are not useful anymore, the things that don't serve you anymore, you just take them like Marie Kondo takes something she's gonna throw away, and you say, thank you so much. Thank you for being with me. But I don't need you anymore. And you just throw it away, right? But there are always things to learn, right, from any situation, and that's for sure. So today, some people asked me to talk about fear and anxiety. And these emotions are very common nowadays in the situation we are staying for the last, how many months? I don't even remember how many months. But yeah, and I can confess, I do feel anxiety. I do feel anxious, and I am scared for my life and for the health and lives of the people I love and my friends, my family. Whew, and that's not easy, right? And I know when you read some positive quotes, you're like, oh, yeah. No, no, it's not the way. So you just let it be, you just let it be, allow it to be, and then you take it and you sort it like garbage. Yeah? All right. So fear actually is an ancient response to danger. Fear is actually the reason why we survived as a species. It's like, like when you say you take some sandwich, you sniff it, and doesn't smell nice. Your brain tells you, hey, danger, danger. So if you eat it and you get poisoned and you die, it means you don't have this ancient response, And actually, if a person tells you that they have absolutely no fear, like they're not afraid of anything, that's a lie. because it is kind of a a disorder. It's kind of a brain damage, actually, that causes people not to be afraid of anything. There was some research, I think in 2010 or something, there was a case study of a woman who, well, something happened to her brain, and her brain got damaged, and the part of the brain responsible for fear was damaged, right? So she was not afraid of anything. Anything. So the scientists gave her spiders, snakes, fire, like all kind of crazy stuff. I would freak out. So she was not afraid of that. She was curious. She was curious. So her brain didn't process it as a danger, which is interesting. So what I'm talking about is, yeah, poor woman. I don't know if she's alive still or not, but if somebody tells you that they're not afraid of anything, that's not true. That's not true. It's just they don't want to share with you, or they're lying to themselves, right? Anxiety. Some people mix up fear and anxiety, and the main difference between them is actually that fear is specific, targeted at some specific stuff, like I'm afraid of public speaking, right? Or I'm afraid of spiders or something specific. However, anxiety is more vague. You cannot tell what exactly you're afraid of, but something worries you, something inside you, there's some worry about the future. And most often you don't know what the trigger is. And that's why it's harder to deal with, because you don't know what to work with, right? All right. However, also a good thing about anxiety, psychologists say that people with moderate level of anxiety, and anxiety is a normal thing, by the way. I'm not talking about the cases when, like, you're very continuously anxious, for like 6 months or something, when you're paralyzed with anxiety and you cannot function, you cannot wake up, you cannot get up from your bed, you cannot take a shower, like you cannot function, then it's a disorder, and like you need to seek help, right? But in a normal person, it's not a disorder, having moderate levels of anxiety is normal, and people say, psychologists, not people, say that those who have these moderate levels of anxiety as opposed to low levels of anxiety, those people perform better, they're better at goal setting, they're better at achieving goals, and they're better at self-care, mind you. Yeah, so anxiety is a good thing when it's moderate. Again, I'm not talking about disorders, okay? So fear and anxiety, they both originate from the unknown. When you don't know exactly what the outcome might be, or you cannot be 100% sure that the outcome will be positive, okay? So it's like, it's the unknown. It's the unknown. And when you don't know something, your mind keeps making assumptions and guesses and creating these stories to fill the gaps, right? It always happens. Just remember another time, like when your friend didn't reply to your message, and you're like, oh, she's ignoring me, or stories, right? Okay. So your mind is like your overprotective parent Remember when you were children, your parents might be saying something like, no, no, don't touch it. You'll get burned. You'll hurt yourself. Don't go there. Well, your mind is like this as well. And your mind wants to protect you from whatever negative things possible, from everything possible. And that's why it keeps giving you these thoughts like, what if this? What if that? What if this? What if that? Right? And because it wants to protect you, to stop you from moving out of your comfort zone, these assumptions are usually negative. Because if it gives you positive assumptions, you will move, right? And your mind doesn't want you to get out of your comfort zone, because the comfort zone is something very cozy, something something you have experienced, you're comfortable at, right? And whatever is outside that zone is the unknown. It's something you don't know, you haven't experienced. You're not sure what outcome will be, right? So the main job of your mind is to stop you from getting out of your comfort zone. And surprisingly, for different areas of our lives, the size of the comfort zone can be different. Yeah, for example, I just made it for myself. So this is my job comfort zone. See, it's big. Sorry, I'm not an artist. It's big. So if my goal is here, well, I just need to move a little bit to reach it. And it's not that scary, right? Whereas if I show you this one, don't judge me. That's, what is it? Sports and wellness. Right? So if my goal is here and my comfort zone is tiny, but the unknown is huge, see the distance? Exercising every day? No. Kidding. No, not kidding. So what I was talking about, so it's all about exploring the unknown. And it's completely up to you to get out of comfort zone or not. Yeah? Some people live all their lives in their comfort zone. They just move probably tiny bit. And that's fine, whatever serves you. But you need to remember one thing, that if you listen to your mind all the time without analyzing whether it serves you or not, you will never grow. You will never develop, because if you do the same things again and again every day, nothing will change. It's like when you make an experiment in the lab and you make it several times, and every time you have the same conditions, the same equipment, the same whatever, right? And you expect to have different results. Will it happen? Nope. So to change something in your life, you need to change something. Something you do, something you say, right? And it's not easy sometimes, depending on the size of your comfort zone, right? Well, how to deal with the comfort zone and how to get out of there, I'll make another video about it. It's a huge topic actually. But what I want to tell you is, just like the garbage thingy, right? You just don't dispose it like this. You work with it. Yeah, you allow it be, and then you think, okay, which things serve me, which things are kind of productive, and which are not, right? So for example, with the fear of public speaking, which I also have. So for example, your mind tells you, oh Maria, your presentation is tomorrow in front of 300 people, and you haven't even started writing your speech. So, do you think it's productive or not? Can you work with it? Can you do something about it? Like, is it valid? Is it valid? Yes, it is valid. It is valid, because if your speech is not ready yet, yeah, you can make an impromptu thingy, but you know that it's better if you are prepared, right? You'll feel safer and you have more chances for it to be a success. Whereas when your mind tells you something like, oh, these people will look at you and judge you, and then they'll see what you look like, and they'll just doubt your expertise. They'll think that you are dumb. Okay, is it productive? Is this thought productive? Not really, because it's an assumption. It's an assumption, and first of all, you're not completely responsible for what people think, right? And then it's an assumption. It's an assumption. You don't know for sure. And that's the way your brain stops you from giving the speech, right? So what can you do with assumptions? Like the things that you know that they're not productive and there's nothing you can do about, right? You cannot just practice and whatever, change it, right? What you can do is think of a positive alternative, right? Something like, to this example that I just mentioned, people will look at you and think that you are dumb. The positive alternative will be probably something like, well, you don't know. You don't know for sure what they'll think. You can't read their thoughts. If you come up with a better alternative, let me know. Comment below. Because I don't know. That's the best thing I can come up with now. And yeah, that's it for today, I guess. And remember that fear and anxiety is just like any negative emotion. They're just called negative. Yeah, because they're unpleasant to feel. They're unpleasant to experience. But there's always something you can learn from them. Yeah. So whenever you just have this desire to say, oh, no, I'm not afraid of it. No. Anxiety? No. Forget about it. You just ask yourself instead, what can you learn from that? What does this emotion teach me about myself, about the situation? What is that I'm uncomfortable with? Yeah? And then you work with it and you recycle, reuse, and turn it into your power. That's it for today. Sending you love and light. Mwah.